Welcome to the conversation part of the Upper Bowl podcast. We have the co-founder and CEO of Victory Sports Solutions, where they help out real candidates find real work in the sports industry. She is the beat reporter for D210 Sports, which she's an on-air talent and reporter for the Dallas Stars Hockey Club. She's worked for the DallasCowboys.com as she was in charge of the brand programs and manager and on-air media. She's alumnus of University of North Texas, which includes Zach Wolchuk and Eric Chiafalo. I'm pleased to welcome to the program. You've seen her on the Ralphcast. You've seen her on 105.3 The Fan and DallasCowboys.com. Savannah Huemoeller, welcome to the Upper Bowl podcast, and thank you for taking time out of this beautiful Thursday, what do you like to say?
Trevor, I'm so excited. This is awesome. I've seen the podcast so many different times, all your guests. I love that you had Ralph on there. You have Jake on there a lot. I'm actually playing him in fantasy hockey this week, so I think I have to chirp him just a tiny bit around here.
Definitely, for sure. He's on the Monday show. I was like, if everyone wants to join the Monday show, it's me, myself, Jake Rietma, the Duncan Dad, when he's not in Spain right now. So
love it.
He's on a cruise right now. I'm not joking. He's trying to stream it on Wednesday. Like, this ain't working, bud. We'll talk to you next week. So
yeah, exactly. Happy to fill in where I can. So
definitely,
that's awesome.
For sure. All right. Talk about your Substack. I subscribe to it. I think it's really good work. I think it's mostly, I like to say, it's really important information because finding a job in sports and media or anything is impossible now these days. What was your mission on the Substack when you started? Because I think it's great anyways.
So Substack was something that was actually presented to me from Ralph Strangis, and he's one of my biggest mentors in life. He's helped me out tremendously with my reporting side with the Dallas Stars. He's been obviously part of that organization for so long. And he writes a great Substack, and he said, you know what, you should do this. And I originally was thinking, okay, well, I can do this for more of the standard reporting, get some articles going. I love doing the video portions, podcast portions, but I'm also at the same time starting a sports staffing company that helps people find actual jobs in sports. And so I figured I can use this platform to reach people for both my reporting and also actual career and growth advice, as I've been building this sports persona of myself for so many years, over a decade. And I have a ton of experience in both the media side and on the just sports business side. So I was like, let me combine both. I think Substack is a great platform for me to discuss that with anybody. And I think it's great. I actually just posted an article an hour before we recorded this for the Stars, a preview for the Kings. And then, a couple of days ago, I posted an article about how to find work in sports and just things that they don't teach you in your sports management class when you're in college. So I do both. I'm all over the place.
That is all. The one thing about me, I went to D3 college. They did not have sports management until my last year. And I looked at you guys like, you jerk offs anyways. You should have came. This is my first year anyways. I would have done this, but oh well. So, but that's really cool anyways. I like to say, because I feel like there's so many people who did the sports management like major and stuff. They just don't know where to go. They usually just go to an office job or work for like in a bank or something now these days.
Well, it's like 50%, I think, of the people that are in those classes, only probably half of them are going to get into the sports industry. And there's so many different, obviously, paths with it. Like there's people that go into the team side, company side, now there's just so many different avenues, and it takes a lot for people to break into this industry. And I spoke on a panel at the University of North Texas on Monday night, and I'm speaking to a class of 30 students, and, I'm sitting in there, I'm like, only, 25% of you in this class will probably make it in the industry. Mm-hmm. And they're asking me advice on how to break in. And I think that there's an it factor. You either have it or you don't. If you want to work in sports, you have to grind. It's a busy, busy life, but you can do it. It's doable. It's just hard to find work in this industry.
Yeah. Sometimes I tell this to people. It's like, sometimes you have to relocate and be like, well, I want to work in like, bummer. Sometimes you just have to relocate anyway. So
sometimes you have to start in a small market. Like that's just what it is.
Like I was thankful enough. Like I did work in an independent news station in New Haven. I was like, okay, this is good, but I just want like my own little freedom and stuff. So I saw this in Florida. Like, let's just do it and see what happens. And boom, it happened anyway. So I always say it's like good to have. Like I was doing this podcast back in it started at 18. I was doing 19. I was starting to have a little bit guest when COVID hit, and I was like, okay, perfect. I have a network at least, anyways, and help me out to get a job down here at least in South Florida.
Exactly. Now it's all about networking. Like, it's who you know in order to get places in this industry. It's not just luck of the draw anymore. And I think there's a lot of gaps when it comes to staffing in the sports world. And a lot of these companies right now, it's harder for them to find actual good quality candidates because people aren't able to get the experience that they want. Like, it's such a competitive field. Like, these internships, people can't even get internships anymore.
Yeah.
And
or companies not even offering it anymore.
Oh yeah, exactly. And they can't develop people properly. Like, there's no proper training because everyone's spread so thin in the sports industry. People don't want to look through resumes. They pass them off to hiring managers. There's 2,000 applicants per one posting. Like, it's insane. So I'm hoping to almost like break into that fold and be a middleman and be able to find good people, good work. And that's the goal at the end of the day.
I'll throw you my resume while we're at it. Anyways,
pass it along. Let's go, Trevor.
I will definitely do that. All right. Let's talk some NFL. We know a lot of stuff. We'll talk about Victory Sports Solutions towards the end and stuff. What's been your favorite storyline since you've been following? Since you are a Vikings fan, I would like to hear your thoughts anyways.
Gosh, it was such a struggle starting this season off. I mean, I loved what JJ McCarthy was able to do in his first comeback game. But the problem is the Vikings right now, they're not looking too hot. There was obviously that game against your Eagles last week.
They're not my Eagles. I don't own ownership in it. I always say they are the Eagles, but they're not my own Eagles anyways.
I mean, you have that catch in the end zone that, bounced up and then it's no good. And they could have had maybe a comeback victory. The Vikings, it's been such a hard team to be a fan of for so long because they're good and then they're not good. And I love having Carson Wentz on this team. Obviously, they needed that vet in the locker room. So I appreciate that the Vikings brought him in. But I think it's just going to be tough. I'm going to the Vikings-Chargers game, so I get to watch this all go down live. The Chargers are iffy right now, so it'll be pretty even if you ask me.
I think it'll be a fun game as we talked about the Thursday night game. I looked at it, I was like, this is actually a good Thursday night football game. I'll just throw on the tablet and see what happens anyways. And plus, it's going to be like 90% Viking fans there anyways. So that's what I would say.
Exactly. But I think, when it comes to NFL storylines right now, there haven't been any particular that have stood out to me. I think there's so many injuries right now. There's just a immense amount of injuries in this league. And I just look at some of these teams and I'm like, they're doing their best right now to just keep things afloat. I look at the Washington Commanders. I mean, I was expecting them to have a standout game against the Cowboys. But when you really look at their roster, I mean, they have some of the best starters out. And now you have Jaden Daniels that's not starting on Monday night. And, things are just going downhill for a lot of teams right now. So you can't say that there's one team that's totally dominating this league right now. I think everything's very standard flatlined.
I think my favorite thing I've been covering like non-Eagles, how entertained Tampa's been this year with no Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. That's been my favorite one. I'm in the story. The Dolphins just being a complete joke show, clown show, I call it. That's been my favorite locally anyways. My other one, the rise of the New England Patriots again, which has been my favorite thing of all time, is it also trolls a Dolphin fan too anyways, which is my favorite thing ever. So those, I like to say, the Joe Burrow injury, we've put a lot of stock in him this year. Like, oh, he's going to be on primetime the whole year. Now he had turf toe after week 2. And it's like, I looked at it, threw my pen up. It's like, there goes half my games. I was going to use it for fantasy football. And also like when I do all the games for Monday's podcast anyways, like, do I make the Bengal game unwatchable now since even though it's Joe Flacco or Jake Browning, do I even want to watch or not? Anyways.
Oh yeah, no, I there's so much going on. Like I said, there's so many injuries. I mean, your fantasy, I'm not playing fantasy football this year. I'm on my fantasy hockey this year, but
yes.
I mean, if I was playing fantasy football right now, I'd be like freaking out because there's a change just constantly. There's so many injuries. It's nuts, but I hope you persevere and win this league. I hope you do.
I'm in the Fan After Dark, like Insta Ballers No league anyway. So I'm looking at it, like I missed the first 2 rounds because I was doing some work and stuff. And like Blake hit me up. I was like, yo, we're drafted. Like, my bad, Holmes. I'm in there right now anyway. So
You're going through it. You're like, yeah, it's this one's a good league, but oh yeah, it's fantasies. It's a lot to keep up with.
The fantasy, like for me, I'm in charge of a league. It's like if you ever watch a show, The League. I told this to Chia Follow. Like we've been doing this fantasy football league since 2014. It's me and my college buddies, and now it's like college friends, girlfriends, then like wives. Now it's like I look at this like I can't keep up with anymore. That's why. And I look at my buddies. It's an 8-team league now. It's like I'm closing it down after this year.
Crazy.
It's so.
What's the fantasy punishment? Do you have one this year?
No, we're deciding like we did. Our old punishments were so bad; they were very cancelable back then. It was like 2014, 15. The girls would have to do something really raunchy to the guys, or the guys would do something really raunchy. It was just like I would get canceled on my own podcast, and I will not say how about that.
That's awesome. So when I was working for the Cowboys, we had like a staff one, and it's obviously just for like bragging rights.
Yeah.
It's like we can't bet, obviously.
Yeah.
We signed those gambling policies, but it's, you know, we had so much fun doing it in the office because we could all just like chit chat with each other, and like, you know, we'd have one winner each week and we'd just be talking about it all week long. But we were like, God, we think a great fantasy football punishment. We never did it. I was like, the loser should have to go and have like dinner with Rowdy the mascot, and Rowdy's like sitting there at the table, and you're like literally on a date with Rowdy. I was like, that would be prime fantasy football punishment.
That is perfect. Or like Victory the Green, the hockey, have to do a date with that at least.
So good. I have to like pose that to them. I'm gonna be like, you guys, someone needs to go out with Victor E. Green.
Or cook dinner for Razor.
Oh, that'd be good.
He'd
be such a hard critic. Oh my gosh.
That will be hilarious though. Think about it. It'll be like, I'm in a fantasy hockey league with my college buddies as well. It's like we used to do crazy punishments. Like the one punishment is like, Trevor, you have to shave one of your sides of your legs off. I was like, okay, cool. Let me just do both of them anyways. I was like, I did both. It's like, no, that's not the punishment. It's like, oh well.
That's wild. That's wild.
That is D3 hockey. That is D3 college like degeneracy anyway. So shout out to everybody. Since you were in, what's your thoughts on the NFC East this year? I feel like this year has been like you have two teams that are supposed to be really, really good, which is I think the Cowboys and in Washington. Eagles are like, I don't know what's going to happen because of drama, and now the Giants are somewhat back. What's been your storyline about the NFC East? Would you say, since you are in the Metroplex?
I was really nervous about what the Cowboys were going to face this year with Brian Schottenheimer. I was in the press conferences with him last year when Mike McCarthy, he was out for a little bit. And, you know, I loved chatting with him. Like, he's such a good guy. He's such a fun coach. And I think that he's bringing a lot of energy to the locker room. And then you have Dak. But, I mean, it's just been a little crazy this year with the Cowboys. You had obviously the Micah Parsons trade. That was nuts. But I like seeing what they've done so far since that trade. Like, the Cowboys are playing good, and the games that they have played in have been relatively close, or just really they're putting their energy out there on the field. So I do appreciate seeing that. I'm just very surprised by the Commanders and how good of a season they did last year. They get into the postseason. I felt like they were so dominant, and I think there's some dominoes there that have been falling. I really love Dan Quinn as a head coach. Great guy. Have a few people that I know inside that locker room that love playing for Dan Quinn. I think things have just been kind of a downfall. Giants right now. Love Jackson Dart. I'm a big Ole Miss fan. I love Ole Miss. So I love what Lane Kiffin produced with Jackson Dart in his years there. I think he's a great quarterback for the Giants, but that organization as a whole, like, it's still going to take a little bit rebuilding. Then you have your Eagles. You know, I think things are like mid. The thing
I've been going by for is like, okay, the Eagles-Giants rivalry is not on life support. And I found someone like, okay, I have someone that I could say I hate the New York Giants, because I've been saying that like, told this everyone, like, I grew up in Connecticut. I hate the Giant fan more than the Cow. Like, I tell this to everyone, like, the Cowboy fan was irrelevant to me until like Terrell Owens went to the Cowboys. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then I see like the Giant fan was like, he had like a punchable face in Jeremy Shockey. Kerry Collins like dumb in the face, and you have Eli Manning who's also dumb in the face, and you have Victor Cruz thinks he's the hottest thing ever doing the salsa dance. And I was like, then it's like Saquon. I was like, I don't mind Saquon, but then he went to the Eagles. Like, okay, cool, but it's like the reversal of Reggie White almost. That's what I go by. And now it's like, okay, I have someone to hate now. It's Cam Scattaboo, who's now at every New York Knicks game looking like Turtle now. And you have Jackson Dart, who looks like that almost.
I know Jackson Dart and Scattaboo, like those two are characters. They're just like their egos through the roof, but it's kind of fun to see like that energy. It's just a different energy out of the Giants this year, which New
York has had no good football for almost a decade. So I guess they have to have something good anyways. If
it's the swagger of their players, that's fine. I'm cool with that. But
I just don't want toolbag like Cam Scattaboo just be a 1-year wonder and he's like absolutely nothing next year,
Yeah.
Like I need the Shockey effect, like be like this the whole time anyways.
Right. But I like the Eagles. I've never had an issue necessarily with the Eagles, but we'll see how they face the Cowboys here in a few weeks. That'll be a good game. And then in November. So yeah, that's pretty much NFC East.
I think the NFC East is kind of wide open.
Unpredictable right now.
It's you get 2 teams anyways. You could say 3 if you count what happens this weekend. But I think it's gonna be really interesting down the stretch they come, because it's like what seed would they be? Because it's like I think the 1 and 2 seed is gonna be either Detroit and Tampa. That's my personal opinion. The third will probably be like whoever wins the NFC North. Like I'm a non-believer in the Packers. It's like I don't believe in the Bears either, so that's why.
Wait, if we're talking NFC North, I'm like Bears, Packers are the absolute worst. Like I cannot, as a Vikings fan, it is so hard to just be like, oh, like I can't stand either of those teams being good. And it sucks seeing that the Packers, what they've done over the past few years, like they have such a good young team, and now you have Micah Parsons, but it's just like, I think like you said, the seed, I think it's just going to be the winner of that division.
Yeah, I think it's a good 3 and the 4th seed will be the NFC East winner.
Right.
My buddies are saying like, so you're going to go to Tampa if they play division round? Like, I guess I have to sacrifice myself again there. So,
hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go.
So the rule is, since I live in Florida, I said this before, like if they're in the state of Florida, I go. So like they've only been to Tampa, not had a chance to go to Jacksonville or Miami. So it's like my buddy said, like you go 4 hours every time. I was like, yeah, I get away from. I'd rather go there because I can go to a nice beach resort for the weekend, anyways.
Right, exactly. You might Florida. I'm like very jealous. It's such a nice place to like live and be. You're on the beach. You're close by to everything. Like you're in a good setup, and the sports teams down there are good. Like I think about the hockey down there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those Tampa Bay Lightning and the Panthers games. Like even this preseason, just nuts. I'm like they're 2 like very great hockey states or like teams right now, and the Florida state itself is a hockey state. It's crazy.
It's crazy to say like I came down here. It's like my buddy says like, so you're gonna make Florida hockey state? Like I'll try. Throw my little sprinkle on it here, and like I'll say like maybe I'll just take the sprinkle from the basketball team and make them just be irrelevant for 10 years. Like when I lived up north, it was like the Knicks were irrelevant for 20 years. So let's do it to the Heat at least. So
there you go. That's wild.
But I think the NFL is gonna be fun. It's been fun this year as a whole, especially the NFC. The AFC, I think it's pretty wide open. It feels like it's 2007 again for the AFC almost. Would you say?
I would say so. It's just everything's kind of all over the place right now. I mean, if we're looking at AFC, like I love my Chargers too. Yeah. And so I just wish that they maybe had a little bit more offensive coverage for Justin Herbert. He's right now the most hit quarterback in the league. Yeah. And that's always rough to see. I think the Broncos, Sean Payton, he's done a great job with that team. It's a younger team as well. So they're kind of on the up and coming, I feel like. And then, I think that it's just all across the board. Everything's super even right now. It's just wild to see that.
Which is weird to say because it's always like you figure out who's the number 1 seed and we'll figure out who is the best record and like we'll figure it out. And then it's like now it's like everyone's so even. It's like, oh wow, this is it's almost like college football almost, you say.
I think it's good. I think it's a little reset where you don't have a specific team that's totally dominating in all fronts. And I think it's anyone's game right now. And this is the time where you have to start taking the momentum to capture those wins, because that's going to get you to the finish line at the end of the day. Like right now is the time everyone needs to start locking in. These bye weeks are already like, giving the guys the gaps and the space, but like it's go time from here.
Definitely, for sure. I think I always say the first bye week when it's even though it's the mini bye, it's nice to have. But I always feel like it's perfect if like the mini bye, play again, then the real bye week. I think that's good for the body, as you can say. I'm not no doctor, but it sounds better for the body.
Yeah, a little rest and recovery, maybe
Yeah.
a little quick vacation, but yeah,
A quick trip to Cancun or the massage gym will help anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Your local sports recovery center.
Yes.
There's your vacation.
There you go. All right. Let's talk some hockey anyways, since you
Let's
cover the
go.
Stars. You dropped an article. It's only 6 games, maybe 8 for some teams. What's been your thoughts on Glenn Gulson as he's back from can I say sabbatical? Because he was there during the bankruptcy years and he went on his like a sabbatical or mission trip, would you say?
We could say that. Yeah, sabbatical. Yeah. He's back. Round 2. He's getting after
He's got a budget.
He has a budget. He has things that he can work with. He has a team with a lot of depth. I'll tell you that. It's insane, the depth on this Dallas Stars roster. Like there's so much talent here. I think it's just a matter of fitting the talent where it needs to be. He's playing around right now with so many of the lines. Like it's been interesting to see in the first 6 games, like where certain guys have rotated to. And then, when it comes to hockey, you're going to have injuries across the board all season long. Like last year, it was such an injury prone year with some of the guys, but you do have a lot of those guys that have come back. They've started a season healthy. I'm talking Jason Robertson, Miro Heiskanen, but it's a matter of finding this new system and them being able to work into the system. So the biggest thing that I've noticed is Glenn Gulutzan allows these guys to play the puck freely. Whereas the Pete DeBoer system, yes, you get to the Western Conference, each season, which is great the last 3 years, but they were in a box almost. There were certain levels of the play style where you're almost doing the same plays over and over again. Right now, the forwards are able to score a little bit more because they can play the puck so freely. I think the thing that I've noticed too, though, is the defensemen. I think it's them taking a little bit more time to figure out as your forwards are able to play the puck freely and they're moving zones a little bit more and it's a little bit more back and forth with it. They need to figure out where they need to be. And I think that's putting a little bit more pressure on your goaltenders. And that's where things are kind of dropping right now. You're on a 3-game losing streak. Not a great way to start the year, but it's so early. Things take time. This is a really good team. I think they need their captain back in the locker room right now. It's not great with him out, but also at the same time, the Stars have to figure it out without him because Jamie Benn's on a 1-year contract. I think this might be his last year in the league. And you have to look internally at this locker room right now, and you need to figure out who your leaders are. Tyler Seguin, he's on, after this year, he only has 1 year left on his deal. Don't know what's going to happen there. Mikko Rantanen is your guy right now. I feel like he needs to be your leader in the locker room. Jason Robertson and also Wyatt Johnston. So that internal
there's
system,
a lot.
There's a lot going on.
Which I consider it like I relate like the Stars to like the Philadelphia Flyers sometimes because it's when you look at it like there's chaos sometimes, like there's a locker room problem or there's like the captain's leaving or he's getting traded. You got to figure out what's life after that captain anyways, or you trade your 2 best players during one off season to figure out the goalie situation and stuff. You always got to figure out who's the next captain. It's always been like that spot where you're at. And I feel like the Stars are like at the Flyers, but they have a little better leadership than the Flyers did in like the early 2010s almost.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's like, I think they need to start just planning ahead. And like, you don't have Jamie in there right now. Like you might as well start figuring out systematically, like what works for your team as far as leadership goes. And you have those guys in the locker room already. So like, how can you transfer that onto the ice when you guys are playing and you need to win the games? That's the thing.
Yeah. Don't be scared to rip the Band-Aid now. Just like see what it looks like. If you want to use the Band-Aid again, go for it. But see what it looks like now before Jamie Benn comes back anyways.
Exactly. And like, he's been around a couple of the practices just like hanging out. But, and then you have Matt Duchene right now. He's out with an injury. He's been rolled out tonight against the Kings. So I think you just have to keep figuring out this system with the new head coach. I really like him. he's a great coach. I like the assistants behind him too. You just have to figure out how these guys can all connect, and you're switching around the lines, and your defensemen need to get on the same page.
Yeah, I think the start, when I looked at it, I said this at the start. We're like, okay, Glenn Golson's is your head coach. I see you have a ceiling of you have to make the Western Conference Final to keep that streak going. If not, everything else is a failure almost. That's how I view it. Am I crazy to say that?
No, not at all. I think, right now you have to not look back at what the Stars did with Pete DeBoer. Like, this is a brand new system right now.
Yeah.
And you can't just be thinking, all right, yes, I did make the Western Conference Final the last 3 years, but how are you going to do this with a brand new coach and all these different guys right now? And it's a new year. I predicted this year, I think that they're going to be maybe third in the Central. I don't see the Stars being like a President's Cup, team. I think that they have a lot of depth. They have a lot of talent, but I like what some of these other teams are doing right now. And I mean, the Avalanche look great. Jets
I like the Wild.
Pretty good. Oh, the Wild. They're kind of sneaky. Even the Mammoth. They're pretty sneaky.
Oh yeah. I ignore that team because it's still the Phoenix Coyotes to me. That's why I was like, I kind of put them aside. I was like, no, you're not a real franchise to me still anyways. Until Phoenix comes back, then I'll consider yours a real franchise. I always look at the Wild this is the Wild's year almost. I say it's like you're hyping up on, no disrespect, it's the Vikings year almost. That's why
exactly.
I consider the Wild. You have Kirill Kaprizov. You should be able to go far in the playoffs anyways. I expect second round finally.
Oh yeah, and when the Stars played the Wild last week, I loved what the Wild looked like. They were speedy. They were out there. Kaprizov, he was one of the 3 stars of the game because he just brought so much, and that's why he's the highest paid player right now in the league.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, Wild.
He's the price of he's the price of admission. I tell this to everyone. What's a good team? The Wild. It's why them? Kirill Kaprizov. But they're really? It's yes. Only I feel like most true hockey fans want to go see him play. None of the hockey casuals that come there and play. I was like, who's this Kirill Kaprizov? I was like, he's amazing. He's a Russian.
He's insane. I just think that the Wild, they need more pieces on that chessboard to complement Kaprizov. They have some Boldy. He's great. Love him. But I think they're still almost building their. We're going to see what they do. I mean, we're so early in the season. There's so much that can happen. I mean, you got trades at some point that's going to start happening. It's just going to be insane. So
you have the Olympic break anyways too, which I feel is going to be the most exciting thing ever since I think the last time we had Olympics was that I cared about was 14. I was in college. I was like, oh, USA Russia is at 9 a.m. I'm going to watch this instead of go to my 9 a.m. class at least.
I love that you're wearing a USA hockey shirt because I'm this is I'm so after the 4 Nations last year. I'm my God, that pumped me up for the Olympics this year. I'm I cannot wait for this. I'm how can I cover the Olympics? I need to get in there. Somebody send me to Milan.
Send the Upperable Podcast of D210 Sports to Milan, please. Thank you. Upperablepodcast@gmail.com, please.
Thank you. Yes, that'd be great. But yeah, Olympics is going to be great. I'm excited.
I considered the 4 Nations, which was probably my favorite time during hockey, when you have bars in South Florida filled up for USA Canada, which I probably have never. That was the coolest thing. I got a beach bar and I was talking to my one friend who's a bartender at the Parallel. She's like, should I put sound on for this guy? I'm like, yeah, trust me, it's a good move. And we had more people come in, and she looked at me and was like, wow, good job, Trevor. Thank you.
Good. It's so fun. I mean, I'm these teams, they just go so hard for their countries. I loved watching Canada versus USA last year. It was just so fun. I can't wait for the Olympics. I think it's going to be insane.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm trying to figure out something to do for the Upperable Podcast. So stay tuned as a listener. I would tell the listeners anyways. So that's why.
Great.
Who do you like in the East so far? I know it's so early. Who have you been so impressed with? For me, it's the Panthers with no Kachuk or Barkov's been entertaining because even though I cover them and I produce their games, that's been entertaining. My little homer version, the Flyers look somewhat decent with Rick Tocchet anyways. Just for me as an East Coast, want to see them do well. At least it's good for the league. What about you?
Carolina Hurricanes. I think that they're really good right now. They're coming to play the Stars this weekend in Dallas. I just like the team. I mean, you got Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, like some of these guys I think are so good. You had Logan Stankoven, who came over from the Stars last year to Carolina. Love him. I just like that group. I also really like the Tampa Bay Lightning. Like, I just think that they're a sneaky good team right now too. The Devils, they're kind of my back burner on the East. I think that they obviously made the postseason last year, lost in that first round, but I think that they also have a pretty decent team right now. So those are my Eastern watch list teams.
I like Montreal too. I think that team's entertaining. I feel
Love
it's
Montreal.
Good. Montreal Canadiens. I tell this. I think I was talking to Doug Plagans about this. I'll name drop on here. Like, we need Montreal in the playoffs. He looked at me like, yeah, it's good for the league. It's very good for the league. So people know like this is it's good for the league anyways. And you see how crazy the Montreal fans are. Like, it's been almost like 5 or 6 years since they were in the playoffs. Like, this is perfect anyways.
I really want to go to a game there. Like, I would love to go to the Bell Center and just check it out. I think this year, maybe I'll try to get out there, but I do know I am going to go to the Maple Leaf Stars game in April. I've never been up to Toronto. I've been to Montreal a few times, but I was like, I want to test that out and just see a Leafs game in person.
Original 6 matchups are probably my favorite to go to, especially up north. Like, the only one I have left to do in North America and the States is Chicago. That's all that's left. Everything else I need to do Canada again. So
yeah, I got to do it. Chicago. I haven't done Chicago either.
Chicago. I've been told Chicago's a good one. I've done Detroit, old and new, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Boston, New Jersey, New York. The only thing that's left in the Northeast is Buffalo, and it's just like I was going to go 1 year, then COVID hit, so that's why.
Yeah, so. You're like, we'll get up there eventually. We'll see if the Sabres become a wagon or not. I don't really know.
Will the Sabres become a wagon? I'll put that as a poll. I feel like it's a poll every year I put up anyways. So
they're so funny.
Definitely. All right. Let's do we do this fun Q&A with all the first time guests. Sorry, this is a prereq for the Upper Bowl podcast. You ready to do some fun Q&A?
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right. What's the one team or sport that you still root for openly as a fan?
The Vikings.
Funny story about Ralph Strangis and being on his weekly show, the Ralph Cast. Is that still going on, or is that on hiatus, would you say?
So I would say the show's on a hiatus. Like, he's just taking a break from social media right now, which I totally respect. But I would say it's not even a funny story about the podcast. Like, he just calls me all the time. Like, we literally talk on a daily basis. Like, he'll be texting me, did you see this? Did you see this? Blah, 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 blah. And we're just like always on the phone. And he's just so funny. Like, I think he's just so entertaining, but I am super excited because he is getting inducted into the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame. So he invited me out to one of his tables at the gala. So awesome. I get to be out there with his like daughter who I'm friends with and just like his family and the people that he has. So I'm honored that he like has me in his fold.
That is way cool, actually. Shout out to Ralph Strangis. What was it like work for the Dallas Cowboys at the digital side? Anyways, I feel like they do a really good job of digital side more than any other NFL team, I feel.
It was great. I feel like the structure at the Cowboys level, it was very organized. A lot of teams mimic off of the Cowboys. Like, it is like the standard. And it was insane being on the media side. It's obviously the most covered team in basically the world. Yeah. And being in that locker room, being around those guys, covering the team podcast, like, they just have such a standard, and it's truly incredible. And I think I learned so much from being in that room. And I mean, I'm honored to have been part of that organization and the media side. Like, it's a grind, but there are people doing it at the best of the best level.
Well, what would be in April, like a post-draft topic you guys will talk about anyways? What do you say?
Post-draft. I feel like we start targeting like, mini camp. We're doing the evaluations of like the draftees. I love doing that on the podcast because like before the draft, like we had like, oh my gosh, college notebooks, and you're going through all the guys and prospects and you're like, stats, this guy could fit here, blah, blah, blah. And then post-draft, you have your picks and you're like, okay, this guy is going to look good here. Here's what they're going to do with this. He could be a starter. Like, it's just fun. Like, you just chat about all this stuff in the off season, and then things get going towards camp.
Oh, I bet. How much did you enjoy going back to Cali every year for the training camp? Would you say?
It was actually my favorite time of year. Like, living at the training camp headquarter base in California was so cool. You get the weather out here. It's gorgeous. The fans pack it out. Like, loved being able to interact with the fan base. I helped a lot on that front. And then, practices against the Rams, but I just lived for it. Like, you're out in California, you're watching football every single day. Like, life doesn't get any better than that.
No, I did training camp when the Chargers did 1 year in LA, which was 2004. It was so funny. I looked at my dad, I was like, are they trying to move to LA? I was like, maybe one day, probably not, hopefully. And lo and behold, 15 years later, it happened anyways. So
crazy.
All right. Jake Reitman is always a story on the show. He's always on the Monday show. Funny story covering the Stars with him and as he's a co-host for the Monday show about Jake Reitman. Fire away.
That's a really good question. I feel like he's like one of my good like press buddies. Like we can just like talk the talk anytime we see each other. Like he's just such a good person to like chit chat with. I wouldn't have any funny stories with him. I feel like we're just always like, we can hang out like in the press box and we'll just like talk all the hockey things. Cause he's like one of the only people like we were talking about from like the North and he just totally understands like the Northern aspects of like the hockey system. Like everyone else is from Dallas. So it's like, it's cool to just get like the Northern perspective cause he gets it.
Yeah, I get the most hate for that. It's like, we don't want your northern perspective, which keep it in South Florida. It's like, no, the northern perspective is really useful sometimes. Trust me.
Especially in hockey. It's like, it started all up there. Okay. So
yes. I say this, don't turn the Florida Panthers into the Miami Heat. We do not need that. Thank you. So
yeah, exactly.
All right. What is your escape when you're not working in sports, by the way?
My escape is probably being with my friends or family. Like I love traveling. I love being able to just like take some time, do some like family trips with my like sister or my mom. Love just kind of getting out of Dallas. I think Dallas you can stay very like stagnant in and it's just very like the same. So I like being able to get out and just experience new places.
That's a good one anyways. All right, who's one celebrity you want to see link up with the NHL like Taylor Swift with the NHL and NFL?
Celebrity
or singer. I say Tate McRae of the NHL. That'll be perfect.
I love Tate McRae with the NHL. She's honestly one of my favorite artists. Like she did the NHL All-Star game as a captain a couple years ago. Like love that. I love Justin Bieber up with the NHL. I think another one, like these guys love country music. Like everyone I talk to in the locker room is such a huge country music fan. So I'm like, we need to get some country artists in the fold. I know Brooks Koepka, huge Panthers fan. Scotty Scheffler, huge Stars fan. Let's get some country guys. I don't know who though. Like, can we get Morgan Wallen involved in hockey? Like, I know he took McDavid out for a walk-up when he performed in Edmonton, but like, bring him to games. Like, we need to make him a hockey fan.
Speaking of, how much did you like Edmonton, Alberta? Because all the Florida people who went up there the past 2 years hated the travel, by the way. I'm not joking. It was the one thing they yelled and screamed about. And I looked at them and was like, bummer. Because everyone was rooting for Dallas. I was like, okay, now I see why. And it was Edmonton 2 years in a row. And I just laughed at all the reporters. Like, ha.
Edmonton was one of the most unique experiences I've ever had in my career. I feel like their system up there, like just Rogers Place was the most insane place I've ever been to for a sporting event. Like everybody was on their feet. I've never seen fans so dedicated to just like being pumped up for their team. Like it was so cool. Alberta, Edmonton, a little sketchy. Like I was like, Sam Nestler, who covers the Stars, I was like, he was staying at the same like hotel that I was. And I was like, please, for the love of God, like walk back to the hotel with me. Like I cannot walk by myself. But it was an interesting place. Travel was bad up there. I had to fly into Toronto at like 2 a.m. I slept on an airport floor for like 4 hours. It's bad.
Oh,
very interesting place. Very interesting. Great fan base.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's your hidden gem stop in Dallas that no one knows about that you want to leak out to everybody?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mine was happiest hours. I would go there. I used to go there a lot. That's why when I was in Dallas.
Happiest hour is great. I would say Oishi Sushi.
Okay.
Because I love sushi, but like I'm a California sushi person. Like I love my California sushi. I would say that is the most close to like good California sushi that you can get in Dallas. I'm not, and it's a good price. You're not going to Nobu or Uchi or the fancy places. Like you can get that quality sushi at Oishi.
Okay. Talk to me about Victory Sports and Solutions. What's your plan with that? What would you like to see do with that?
I would love to help people find work in sports. It's very hard to break into. I have a lot of young people that reach out to me, a lot of college students that I work with and mentor and give advice to. And I'd love to see some of them get actual jobs because I don't think the teams now do a great job in hiring practices. I don't think they actually give people a fair shot. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to be that middle person to help people find good quality people with experience and grow their career.
That is awesome. Anyways, Savannah, where can everyone follow you and subscribe to your Substack? And do you have a YouTube at all?
I do have a YouTube. I actually don't really post on it much. I need to get back into it. Maybe I'll start some vlogs, but
I'm down for that.
Little sports vlogs, but you can follow me on Twitter. It's Sports Savvy with 2 Y's. Instagram is Sports Savvy 1 Y with an underscore. I wish I could all do it collectively in one, but
I feel you.
It doesn't work like that. Substack, it's Sports Savvy Substack. That's kind of my little persona, Sports Savvy. I created that like when I was in high school and it's just worked for me since.
That is awesome.
So yeah, love Substack. I'm on Twitter all the time, TikTok, same thing. So yeah.
That is awesome. Savannah, you're now a recurring guest of the podcast. So welcome to the rotation, as I like to say now.
Thank you. No, I'm excited to, connect with all the people that you have in your fan base, the Upper Bowl pod. I mean, I've been watching you guys and your content for a while and love it. Happy to be on board.
Thank you. Appreciate it.